What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. As we get rolling here, of course, take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Hey guys, a little late night tonight start, but it's always on here like Donkey Kong for the playoffs against the Packers in the wild card round. We're going to talk about all these things that kind of went down in the background as we take a real deep dive, first look at these Green Bay Packers coming to Big D. So we're going to talk about all that tonight and more. Jerry Jones spoke. Some offense, defense stuff there with the 4-1-1 with Dak and Micah. We'll get into this and a lot more, but baby, we got to talk about some people dropping the love. We got to talk about some people here with the family representing the sponsor board, like our sponsor of the week, the one and only Jason Renfro. Back to back, like our 90s Cowboys. He's repping that board. And he's also the stream boss with 37 points up on there. So much love to Jason Renfro.
I appreciate you, of course.
Gifting style.
Speaking of representation, we have the membership gifting king. Thank you very much to JD from DC representing as this week's membership gifting king.
And representing that star in enemy territory. Big time this last weekend, right? Good job. Great job by our Cowboy fan base traveling hard. And also, speaking of gifting memberships, we have I think we have a new leader now on the board here because we had Jason Renfro with 2. We had Skeptical at 1. Skeptical said, held up. He dropped 5 on it right here, guys. He put that Super Bowl 5 times on it. And 5 gifted memberships to 5 lucky family members in the chat. We'll announce that in a minute, but I just want to give a big shout out to Skeptical Fan. For that side of things, on the gifting board, he's now got 6. The Jason Renfro's 2, and he's in the lead. But he also just dropped a $3.84 super chat. Holla.
Ooh.
What did the man say, staying skeptical?
How many points are the Cowboys spotted for Sunday?
7.5. That's the number. As of the last I checked, that was yesterday.
Yep.
We'll check into it later in the week.
I have a feeling that I
changes.
imagine it'll probably change tomorrow with the official injury reports released.
Yeah, I'm sure. But, things will always fluctuate, but it started at 7, 7.5. A touchdown, basically, is what we're favored by as of this moment. So, again, as I update the boards here, baby, I also want to shout out those the other people repping this board here, like SnugX as our Cash App King, going back to back to back
in a row, right? He's trying to, keep that kind of streak the Cowboys are trying to get. Thank you so much, Snug. Appreciate you for your representation.
Actually, Green Bay, they actually have. We're going to talk about it a little bit today, but they actually got into the postseason in a 3-game winning streak. So it'll be interesting how that matches up here. But yes, we got back to back from Mr. SnugX, and when you look at this week's leaders, well, in the Cash App side of things, it is none other than one of our star level members, Marissa Sparkle, who's sparkling in first place right now as our current Cash App leader. But there's a lot of people behind her. You never know when that's going to fall. Appreciate you again, Marissa. She's also in first place on the overall board. So Marissa Sparkle have a little takeover here for this playoff game. So she's coming for that top spot. Of course, you got the gifting board, which you just said. Skeptical Fan with that just final drop right here with the 5 memberships. He's in first place on that side. And moving up the board, pre-stream here, we had Dwayne Broussard, the top dog, another star-level member who dropped a $2 holler. And what else did he say, baby?
Here we go. Go Cowboys.
Hell yeah, go Cowboys.
Thank you, Dwayne. I appreciate you, of course, as always.
Yes. And appreciate everybody here in the house dropping the love. It's very extra special this week. You see the bottom right. There's a big-time raffle going down by the Lunatic, another one of our great star-level members. We'll talk about that in a moment. But, baby, there's, of course, you see the super chat. You have people jumping in the membership like Roy Strasner in the Navy Blue crew. Much love to you. Big D in the place to be. He's also in the Navy Blue membership. So they just jumped in on their own. You got gifting memberships like you just saw right there. You got the thanks button. But there's 4 other ways you can battle, not just for the overall lead and Marissa Sparkle, SnugX on those Cash App boards, but there's other ways of dropping the love that kind of affect the Cash App side, baby. What are the 4 other ways? Of
course, you have the Cash App, money sign MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
That's right. So, again, appreciate everybody who's dropping the love. We're going to do the shout-outs for the nightly sponsors here, which we call the sponsors here the star and over everything level board. So, baby, without further ado, on nightly shout-outs to our star level and over everything level members.
Thank you very much to Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potch, Marissa Sparkle, Dwayne Broussard, The Lunatic, and over everything, Seabass.
Hell yeah. He'll be hopefully on the show sooner or later. He's getting over the hearing situation he had there. But appreciate him. Appreciate everybody in the house. And baby, every drop that goes down here, whether it's whatever form or fashion you guys do drop it. It could be after dark on our After Dark channel, but however you drop it, it is inputted into our fantastic wild card raffle. It's a 4-jersey raffle, and it's coming to you from the Lunatic. You know these raffles, guys. These jerseys. You've seen them before for the Mosh Man, from the Mosh Man with the multiple monthly jersey raffles we do for the Star and Over Everything level memberships. But yes, you can see new school players, old school players, current players, Hall of Famers, legends, and it's different styles, sizes, all sewn and stitched. The whole authentic, jersey like you get them from anywhere else. It looks like a damn game-worn jersey. So great stuff, great quality. Much love to Cowboys Mosh, and extra special love to the Lunatic for making this happen. But the question is, how do people get in this raffle, baby? And again, it's going to be at halftime of this stinky Green Bay Cheese Packer game on Sunday evening, I guess you could say, Sunday afternoon in Dallas. But yeah, at halftime, we're going to have 4 winners, and each of them is going to win one of these jerseys. And it's not just like the jersey we give you. It's not like a choice. It's not like you get first place, second place. Everybody gets a jersey of their choice of what we have, right, available. And how do they get in this raffle, baby?
You drop $10, bam, you're automatically entered and in it, and it is cumulative, right? So it stacks up to the 10, and after that, every additional $10 is an additional bonus entry, and that is unlimited. So you can,
just
enter as much as you want.
Unlimited raffle entries. You keep, it heightens your chance to be able to, win one of these 4 jerseys. And of course, there's a little extra bonus raffle if you're in the navy blue crew, silver level, star or over everything. Any of our membership levels, once you hit the $10 mark, an extra bonus entry for you. So hey, we got a lot of people already in this thing. I did the calculations yesterday. Got a lot of people. Listen, we got about 22 people in this thing that have multiple different sets of votes raffle entries from 1 to over 10 of them. You know what I'm saying? A couple people have over 10. So anyone's game, it heightens your chances, but anyone can win it with even 1.
Yep,
you can win it with 21, right?
4 individual winners.
Yes, so it's going to be great. 4 great winners. Each of them getting the jersey, all because of the Lunatic and our Dallas Cowboys hopefully kicking some of that Green Bay SpongeBob fucking SquarePants ass all over the field. We're going to break down this game here tonight, starting off with the just first look. But of course, we're going to dive into our defense versus their offense tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we're going to get into our offense against their defense. With then at the end of the week here on Friday and Saturday with some must-win matchups, pre-game previews, and other things here. You know how we roll here on My Cowboys Family. So, baby, now we got all that out the way. Hopefully everybody is on top of things. If you want to get in this raffle, I think Saturday night's going to be the last chance to get in or get in at all. Stack raffle entries. We'll pop this up throughout the night so it reminds you guys in case new people come in and want to join this. I don't want anyone to miss a chance to get even a 1 raffle entry. That may be all you need to win one of these great jerseys. Again, it is Cowboys centric, but it's any team really, whatever players are available from any of these teams in the NFL, and of course any sport as well, any of the big 4 sports. Cowboy Mosh should get it for you. So whatever we have, you guys are welcome to it, and there's a large choice of jerseys and sports where to pick from. But here it's about that star for everything, and of course we're hoping that the winners are all Cowboy fans so they can pick out some of these fantastic Cowboy Mosh jerseys. Again, thank you to Lunatic, one of the godfather of the star level membership, and appreciate all of you who are in it. Good luck to all those that are currently in it, those that will join, and those that will continue to add raffle entries to up their chances on things here. So anyways, baby, now who's in the house tonight to talk some Cowboy football?
We have Xavier Hidalgo in the house. What's up? Aztec Aguilar 04. Much love to you. Lord Azen. We definitely owe the Packers quite the beating.
Oh, yeah.
Skeptical fan, always staying skeptical, saying, I can picture Prescott saying, here we go, when his baby's coming.
Oh, yeah, he's going to get there, he's going to be ready, under center right there, ready to snap the baby right out. Downside.
At least Dak will protect the football.
True.
Sorry, I had to make that dumb joke.
By the way, after Skeptical's drop, he jumps into third place on our overall board, way up the board, trying to challenge for this week's overall spot with only Smokey and Marissa in front of him.
Ooh. So we have, let me see, Fuego bringing the heat. Aztec Aguilar 04. Haley 94 Where much love. Dwayne, no, just trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett. Spot, can you save me? What's up? MLRB. Hopefully I had that right. So, by the way, C-Doc80, Dirty South, Frame Rippers, Grimbot, and Chris Plumage all were the lucky membership gifting winners earlier with Skeptical Fan dropped 5.
Congrats to the crew there. By the way, I put Jason Raffle at 33, Damone Clark, TD, Tony Dorsett points on the Stream Boss.
So, Bobby Garrett, what's up? Much love. Well, Prescott calling audible if it's a girl. Rolando Rodriguez said, what's up? Much love to you as well. Jim Everett. Looks like we have some...
Little troll.
Yeah,
Jim Everett.
a Rams fan, not a troll.
Oh, Jim Everett. I thought they called it Chris Everett. Isn't that Chris Everett? Oh, if you know, you know.
Anyways, unfortunately, I don't know. So I don't know.
You guys know
I don't know that. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, that joke flew over my head. But William Cuffey, hopefully I said that right. Xavier Hidalgo cracked me up. Brandon James, what's up? So, baby, let me
Cowboys
go ahead.
are favorite to win this game by 7.5 points right now. So let's get it rolling here. I know you're going to pass it to me. Let me pass me the mic. And let's talk about first some NFL football. NFL right now is offering voluntary buyout packages to employees. And this has been confirmed by the Sports Business Journal. At least 200 league employees received their buyout offers on Monday, which is basically the corporate way of saying, hey, we're going to get rid of the higher costing employees, the higher paid employees, and kind of push them out, buy them out, and then bring in lower priced ones to fill in those same spots, which, of course, NFL, that is the fact that they have to offer buyouts to reduce costs is a little bit mind-boggling when you think about how much the NFL itself makes. So,
yeah, but they're just, hey, they're
a
corporate company, and they're just, following their best corporate practices to save money. Every nickel and dime matters, right? NFL.
Yeah, too bad the people working the 9-to-5s over there are getting screwed. But either way, it's a corporate business. What are you going to do? One of the owners of the NFL, Colts owner Jim Irsay, he's kind of have some health issues going on right now. The Colts made a statement on their owner, Jim Irsay. Quote, Jim Irsay is currently being treated for a severe respiratory illness. While this unfortunately means he won't be able to perform with his band this week in Los Angeles, he's receiving excellent care and looks forward to returning to the stage as soon as possible. We'll have no additional information at this time. And we ask that you respect the privacy of Jim and his family as he recovers. So hoping the best for him. But man, he has a band. He's like 80 years old. Anyways.
Everybody deserves to have a little hobby, right?
He does.
Juan Carlos, what's up?
Yeah. So speaking of hobbies, Aaron Rodgers made it a hobby to be on the the Pat McAfee show a lot and talking a lot of stuff during this injured season. I don't know if you heard what he said, baby, but Aaron Rodgers today blasted ESPN bosses Mike Foss for saying that that whole Jimmy Kimmel was an Epstein situation, the remark. He said that I guess because they had said that Aaron Rodgers' remark about Jimmy Kimmel and Epstein was, quote, dumb and factually inaccurate. So Aaron Rodgers has been kind of pro Cowboys this season. He went back to craziness, and he says the outrage is because of cancel culture. The woke media, he said. And it's funny because it's like, this is the same media he's on right now. Like, what is it? He's part of it, isn't he? It makes no sense sometimes to these guys. But Aaron Rodgers, just again, on top of everything else, the dumb shit he said today, he also dropped the fuck word right there on national TV and didn't give a shit about it. He said, quote, it's been a very interesting week and a lot of things have been said. He said this history between Jimmy Kimmel and I goes back to COVID times. Of course, the Aaron Rodgers kind of mindset of it, which is a little wacky, and Jimmy Kimmel made fun of it. I guess Aaron Rodgers didn't like it, and they've held this since then. But to me, it's more like basically what Aaron Rodgers is trying to cry about here. He's whining about. He's a snowflake here. He's saying that the comments by Jimmy Kimmel about COVID, about him, were so painful that he had to call him basically a pedophile. Is what he called him, but he said that he would be on the Epstein fucking files or whatever that was.
Yeah, he was gonna be on the list that was released.
Right, and again, he was not on the list, so he makes Aaron Rodgers look stupid, and now there's some legal action maybe taking place. Who knows? But the point is, he's just going on hearsay, on talking points from the ultra QAnon right. So again, that's where he's coming from, and he's kind of one of these hippy dippy kind of guys. It's just he's going to the crazy side a little bit there, in my opinion, on this topic. And again, he's kind of letting loose because he kind of got looking stupid out there for getting the accusation 100% wrong. So anyways, just throwing that in there since it's kind of outside of football news. But then we had some firings today when it comes to the coaching positions. And the Tennessee Titans, I know our guy here, Frame Rippers, loves this guy, but Mike Vrabel has been fired.
Oh, shit.
From the Tennessee Titans. So he led Tennessee to 4 consecutive winning seasons after arriving in 2010. So all the way up to 2022. But then the last 2 years, 2022, 2023, they experienced back-to-back frustrating seasons. No playoffs. Finishing multiple games under 500. So that's kind of, both these years in a row, back-to-back under 500. That's been the reason why he's basically getting kicked out. But, it's crazy because he won Coach of the Year, Vrabel. Also,
not that long ago.
Now that he's available, he's one of the top coaching candidates around immediately. And it's interesting where he falls compared to even like a Dan Quinn. Some people will take Vrabel over Dan Quinn. Is there expectation? He's a tier 1 head coaching candidate for other head coaching jobs right now. And
I'm not really surprised that he might be over Quinn in certain scenarios. I mean, you have to remember, he's, anyone who is currently a head coach that's out there trying to get head coaching, another head coaching position, probably has a slight leg up over Quinn in an overall general sense. Obviously a team might specifically have Quinn higher on their list or whatever. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. But Vrabel was literally just a head coach.
Yeah.
I feel like, he has maybe a more recent feather in his cap. So
his feather is, a lot of winning seasons. The last 2 years, no, but is that him? Is that the coaching? Is that the players? I mean, is that front office decisions? Either way, Vrabel right now, guys, he's looking like the number 1 candidate for like head coaching right now in the NFL, just like that. Even Belichick, could be in that same stage. Of course, they didn't fire Belichick yet, but it sounds like it's going to happen any moment, or they're going to split ways amicably.
A mutual parting of ways.
Yeah, but again, this move to New England, if Belichick's not retained by the Patriots, it could be Mike Vrabel going to the Patriots. Look for that happening. But another last little thing about Mike Vrabel getting fired, the Titans believed that they were going to try to trade Mike Vrabel, kind of like a Sean Payton situation. But it was too complicated, they decided. And it would take way too long to figure out something like this. So they wanted to move quickly. They told Vrabel, Vrabel never asked ownership for a trade or asked out of Tennessee. So they just said, let's just cut him rather than try to trade him and just move on from the situation. We can make our new hires now, quicker. So that's the position. Again, it's interesting to see a coach of the year, a top coach, to be just kind of kicked out this way. Very strange.
You kind of understand it, but it is still a little bit bizarre, not gonna lie. So yeah.
So anyways, there's that on coaching moves. Then we have another little coaching comment here. Sean Payton from the Broncos on Russell Wilson's future with the team. Remember, they're not really, Payton ain't really a big fan of Russell Wilson. And Payton said this, Sean Payton, the head coach of the Broncos, quote, "We'll look at all the scenarios and try to do what's best for the Broncos." And then he also mentioned that he spent time with Russell Wilson yesterday, but nothing had been decided going forward yet. So just a little update there. The Dolphins, a playoff team, just signed linebackers Justin Houston and Bruce Irvin. Of course, they got a lot of injuries with edge and rushing. They're outside linebackers in a pass rush scheme there. So, Jerome Baker, linebacker, broke a wrist bone there. He's out for the rest of the year. Cameron Good and Andrew Van Ginkel as well. Both these guys are out for the year, or out for the 4 games. That's injured reserve for these guys. Basically, they can't come back this year. 4 games means Super Bowl. So Dolphins had to replace these 2 guys immediately, 3 guys, and they brought in Justin Houston and Bruce Irvin. Steelers in the playoffs. Mike Tomlin. He ruled out today officially. Of course, said Mason. What's his name? Mason Mason Rudolph is their starting quarterback, which was expected, but he also ruled out T.J. Watt for this big playoff game against the Bills. So big hit for the Steelers without T.J. Watt this week. Finally, one last thing before we get to our Cowboys. Mm-hmm. But the Los Angeles Chargers, they're one of the teams that want to bring in, Dan Quinn to kind of get interviewed for the head coaching position with the Chargers, right? We know Dan Quinn is one of those candidates. We of course know that former offensive coordinator Kellen Moore is also over there currently as the offensive coordinator for the Chargers. So today, of course, they requested it to talk with Quinn, but that can't happen for a couple of days. Today, the Chargers brought in another person to interview for their head coaching job, and it was Kellen Moore. Yeah, for the head coaching job. Longtime NFL coordinator, so to speak, you could say, for the Cowboys, and now with the Chargers this year. First year with the Chargers as OC. He has interviewed for several head coaching jobs in the past. Now he's interviewing for the team he's on right now for the head coaching job, which Kellen Moore has applied and talked to the front office. So good luck to him. But yeah, that'd be interesting if they take him over Quinn. That'd be interesting, right? Now. Quinn, we know he's got a lot of different suitors, but we have another team two teams that not only want Quinn on their squad. Yeah, it goes a little deeper than that, like playoff deep, in Will McClay. So Will McClay he's kind of our pseudo GM. We know he's the director of personnel, player personnel, but he does a lot of the GMing stuff for our Cowboys. And he's interviewing for a couple of GM jobs. I think Jerry Jones will speak about it in a little bit here. But Cowboys VP of Player Personnel is Will McClay. The Panthers today put in a request to not just interview Dan Quinn, but to interview Will McClay as well for their GM job. I gotta be also honest here. That wasn't the only team. Dan Quinn was also looked at and is going to be interviewed as head coach by the Washington Commanders, and so is Will McClay. Will McClay also going to be touching base with the Washington Commanders for their head of football ops job. So it's almost like a GM move. Again, he's getting a GM look in Carolina. He's getting a football ops position look there, the head of football operations for the Commanders. But we all know Will McClay, who's a guy we need to keep on this team in this front office, he has been always content to stay in Dallas. Jerry Jones has always paid top dollar to keep Will McClay here in Dallas. After the Houston Texans tried to take him from us, he stayed in Dallas because he didn't take the title. He took the familiarity, the working with this Cowboy family here, and took the money too, right? The bigger, every time this time comes around, every time these teams want to get Will McClay just gets another $5 million or something like this, just added on top, because Jerry Jones is no cap on these guys. You can pay him $1 billion. So it's important that the Cowboys retain Will McClay, but he's always going to look at any opportunity. But he is content in Dallas. Now again, with now three teams, right? It's Washington, Carolina, and the Chargers want to take a look at Dan Quinn for head coach. But for GM or the GM type role, the Panthers and Washington are also going to take a look at Will McClay. These are confirmed reports that Washington and Carolina asked permission to the Cowboys to speak with Will McClay. And again, he's been our Cowboys lead VP of personnel since 2014. A lot of great pickups, a lot of great draft picks, a lot of fantastic undrafted players throughout his tenure. But Commanders, Panthers, they're both these teams are requesting interviews with not just Will McClay, as you can see right behind him, also with Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn getting the extra interview as head coach with the Los Angeles Chargers. So, which, by the way, just interviewed Kellen Moore today. Now, as the day kicked off today, we have Jerry Jones, who had to say some words. We knew he was going to come to the mic today, go to the radio station, 105 through the fan, or talk through the radio there.
Yeah, we knew even from yesterday, like one of the big reasons one of the main topics he was going to address is defending Mike McCarthy's virtue, so to speak. Yeah. I don't think Jerry expected people to take his comments, I guess, in a certain way. So he was a little surprised when people were like, wait, but McCarthy's going to be fired or whatever. So Jerry had to, he wanted to speak on that today.
Yeah, he spoke on that. But before we even get to that, I wanted to take a comment that he made. Again, this was a couple days ago, Pro Football Talk. And one of the big surprises, I guess, after the game, Peter King spoke about this. A couple of things, like maybe Belichick could be hiding around in Jones's mind when it comes to coaching. But
you have to imagine that he's there, he's available.
Right, he's gonna be.
Jerry being Jerry, it's always like a consideration. I have to imagine whether we pursue it or not seriously. Now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, here's the interesting thing though. Peter King brought up in Jerry Jones's comments after the games when he was asked about the future of head coach Mike McCarthy. He said this was post week 18. This is after the game. He said, quote, about Mike McCarthy's future. Jerry Jones said, quote, "We'll see how each game goes in the playoffs." When you look at something like that, to me, it just means he's being judged, as we said earlier in the end of the season. Mike McCarthy could have another 12-5 record, which is third consecutive, and it's fantastic. And everybody here on our side, I mean, myself, very happy with the way he's turned this around, whether it was from the COVID year and going from, getting better every year to, even in the playoffs getting better every year and still managing this team with the Jerry Jones, kind of attachment for 4 out of the 5 years now. Finally has, 3 years under his belt like this. Now this one under his own, play calling. So McCarthy gets his due for sure. But Jerry Jones still wants to see, he said, how each game goes in the playoffs. Now this was a couple of days ago. Jerry Jones spoke again today. He kind of, it's interesting what the changes were there. But the first thought you get when you hear that is it's on McCarthy here to make sure we get into the conference championship. All right, can't have an embarrassing ending to the season, especially if it falls on to McCarthy's, clock management or something like this. So
or something directly related to McCarthy.
So the other thing is he wants to keep his options open because there's a Bill Belichick name flying around. Now there's a Mike Vrabel name flying around. So, but to me, and I'm being serious about this, guys, when it comes to, I know some people are going to hate me for this because they want Dan Quinn as their coach. But we might lose Dan Quinn because, to me, again, I would love to keep both these guys. Jerry Jones actually touched on both these guys, Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy, but it makes zero sense in a way. Let's be honest. Let's be all honest with each other here. Unless it's a McCarthy failure in the playoffs, it makes zero sense to move on from the head coach who was unlike literally everyone before him in almost the 30-year drought we have right now, entering 28 years. Other than Bill Parcells, who really turned it around in a split second, Mike McCarthy is the dominating coach here in the last 30 fucking years. Let's be honest. So, again, he brought consistency, stability, 3 years in a row, getting 12 wins, and having, trying to improve on playoff success, wild card loss, divisional round loss. Can we get a conference championship win and a ride to that Super Bowl? That's what we need to shoot for this year. And that's why Jerry Jones wants to keep the eye out for that. I agree with Jerry, keeping the pressure on him. But with this game coming up, Jerry Jones is kind of giddy. He's kind of happy. He's kind of, having fun with this, feeling good. What did he say, baby?
He knows the same thing we do, right? This is a little different than usual. Throwing out there, Jerry said, "This is the most wonderful day of my life until tomorrow." And won't that be a dilly? Okay.
A dilly?
That'll be a dilly.
All right, that'll be a dilly.
I feel like that this week, so...
That's the way he feels this week, and rightfully so, like you said.
So he also added in there, this team has really hung in there. We've gone through a marathon. This is not a sprint. It's a long journey. You have to see where you are when you're at the end. We have pushed this thing up here as good a shape as I could have drawn up. Again, acknowledging, it is a very long road to get to this point in the season. And you're hard pressed to ask to be in a better situation, all things considered, right?
Agreed.
Like, in an ideal world, we would have never lost anybody to injury. Everyone would be perfectly healthy and everyone's playing like a Pro Bowler. The reality is, football is managing the things that go wrong and still finding a way to succeed in spite of it. So, Jerry also added in there, you don't want to go into the playoffs with a group that doesn't feel the anxiousness and the fear of, quote unquote, being in a foxhole together. So basically, you got to put in the work with the guys next to you.
Yeah, the camaraderie there, you can trust the man next to you, right?
Yeah, so it sounds like Jerry's touching on the brotherhood, saying, quote, this bunch has been shot at. So, and also throwing out there that they're right at this moment about as healthy as you could possibly ask for heading into the postseason.
So, I mean, again, I'm not going to lie. You're going to hear some more injury stuff in a minute, and he ain't lying. He ain't lying. Now, I know he also spoke upon coaching situations, whether it was, Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy. And this time he touched on, speaking about Dan Quinn, about trying to keep Dan Quinn as our defensive coordinator. What's it going to take? Jerry Jones, what can you do to keep him here, no matter what happens with Mike McCarthy?
Now,
what did he
Jerry's
say?
statement here regarding Dan Quinn was a little bit more neutral. Not anything negative towards Quinn. Just, again, like you said, baby, acknowledging the fact it's going to be hard to keep him, right? Jerry said, quote, let me put it like this. We've had several of our coaches receive letters of request. That's what happens when you have success. He didn't answer specifically about Quinn's status. We can all read between the lines. That's the point. Like, we're suffering from success because everybody wants our coaches.
Yeah, I mean,
so
and it's not just him either.
Just him saying that and saying it in such just a general neutral statement or something, not really any definitive Quinn commentary, lets you know, I'm sure Jerry's going to do everything he can, but
he has less control this time around. He also deflected a little bit, talking about other coaches that are kind of getting receiving letters of request. Dan Quinn obviously is the most obvious name to be connected with these openings. Let's also remember, whether it's a higher job, a higher coordinator spot, or a head coaching spot, there's also John Fossil Bones, who has interim experience as a head coach with the Rams. And remember, both he and Brian Schottenheimer, both got very good reviews from the NFLPA survey, as far as players liking these guys.
So so we just talked about this within the last week, guys. So you have two coaches that are very liked and well respected by their players, by their organizations.
And then Dan Quinn as well. He was
leading
a top
some
three
of
as
the
well.
best units in the NFL
All
for
three
their
guys.
respective, coaching areas.
Exactly.
So
all three guys are top five guys when it comes to the liking of them, and they're all obviously being successful. So Jerry Jones says he expects 15 to 20 total interview requests across the board by the end of the hiring cycle for our coaching staff.
Yeah, so that ain't pretty much all the coaching staff.
I mean, you got to remember,
that's what that
Joe Witt Jr. and Adam Darty and a bunch of these other guys are going to get different coordinator, like defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator spots looked at, and we'll see where they go from there. But most of them will probably stay in Dallas. It really depends on what happens to guys like Dan Quinn first. But hey, JD from DC in the place to be, representing enemy territory. Our gifting champion gifting king, dropping that $2 J. Lou holler. What did JD have to say?
At least Jerry said foxhole instead of glory hole. Yeah, I don't think I want to hunker down in the glory hole.
Man,
just throwing that out there.
That's a bit disturbing.
I don't think I want to hunker down with my teammates in the glory hole.
Yeah, that would be a lot disturbing. That glory hole.
Saying, that's the type of team bonding activities we need to do to get a Super Bowl. We might need to reevaluate how much we want that Super Bowl.
That's a little too much camaraderie going on right there. It'll get too close for comfort there. That's a humble opinion I'm throwing at you, but maybe I'm accurate here on this one. I don't know. I'm with you there.
A skeptical fan, by the way, letting us know that Jerry's just hip, cool, young with the kids. Because he said, Dilly, slang word, a surprising or remarkable person, place, thing, or event.
Huh. That's Dilly. He's a hip old man.
So, well, hey,
gotta give it to him.
I guess I'm just not as with it as Jerry is.
Well, Dilly, you know what? Jerry also spoke about, other things than just a coaching situation. Well, more than just our coordinators in the coaching situation. I did want to say one last thing, though, baby, about what Jerry Jones said about the Dan Quinn and the coordinator situation. There's no cap, as we know. And I say no cap, not in the cool way, but there's no cap, no salary cap like we have for players. So, Jerry Jones also made a point in this discussion that he and the Dallas Cowboy organization have a chance to counter any offer. So whether it's maybe, hey, we'll give you this position, or we got that money, honey.
I wonder if, for example, let's say Dan Quinn makes the head coaching rounds, right? Let's say that there's some kind of a number thrown out there for him. He's offered, just to keep it simple, $10 million a year, per year to be head coach. Dallas can turn around and say, all right, well, we'll pay you 11.5 to stay right where you are. Thank you so much, by the way, Jacob Vasquez.
I think it depends on the team he might be going to. Carolina, he'll definitely get pulled back to Dallas.
I'm literally just trying to throw numbers out there as an example to
I like it. No,
explain
I like
it real quick.
But
yeah, I agree the team matters significantly. But anyway, thank you,
Jacob
Vasquez.
in the house.
He came through with a Dak Prescott $4 holler saying, what's up, y'all? And shout out to Dak.
Yeah, hey, Dak's doing it right now, and that's what we love to see here at MCF. Our starters, our main players, ripping it up. By the way, let Jacob know what the deal is, baby, because he's currently right now 6 away.
Yeah.
As we have others on here, like JD from DC, who's 8 away from adding. Well, JD's already in the raffle, but he's adding membership raffle entries. He can. Mr. JD from DC. Jacob Vasquez is 6 away from our first one.
Yes, but those of you guys who are, just joining us now, trickling in, or just haven't heard, guys, we do have an awesome raffle going on. You drop $10, bam, you're automatically in it. Every additional 10 is an additional bonus entry, and there's going to be 4 individual lucky winners.
Yep, get
so 4 different people repping the jersey of their choice, player, style, size. As long as we got it, you got it too.
Yep, and again, there's people in here from other teams. There's other teams available with lesser players, but other teams, other sports even available. But you know how we do this here, Big D. And again, wild card weekend, halftime of this Cowboy Packer game, we're going to do this entry. Like you said, I don't know if you said, but $10 gets you in. Every 10 on top stacks and unlimited entries. And like you said, membership, any level, bonus entry as well. Once you hit the $10 mark. That's it. Pretty simple. And it's brought to you. Who is brought to you by? It's by the lunatic, the Godfather here. So much love to him for doing this thing. Kenny Vans in the house giving his monthly comment here for January.
Thank you so much, Kenzie Vance. I appreciate you.
That takes a point off from Jason Renfro. 26 Deron Bland points for Jason Renfro. What did Kenzie have to say?
Man, I really do love MCF. Really do, man. Y'all don't understand how much I love this channel. I'm glad I came across y'all, but Cowboys 45-13.
I would love to see that kind of destruction, dismantling of the Packers, of the Cheeseheads. But yes, appreciate you, Kenzie. Thank you for making the channel. Everybody in the chat makes this channel part of what it is. So thank you guys, whether it's drops of love, drops of knowledge. The interaction we have is fantastic. So again, appreciate you all. And hey, thank you for hanging with us, whatever coast you're on, whatever time zone you're in. Cowboys are worldwide. So appreciate you all on that. So,
and thank you again, Kenzie.
Yes.
Appreciate the love and the wonderful message there.
Yeah, yes. So now that we heard about Jerry Jones's thoughts on Dan Quinn, what was his? We heard that he was going to be really positive, really all over, like the fact that McCarthy is the man and McCarthy is great and McCarthy's not going anywhere. So what did Jerry Jones say about the big bubble? What did he say about McCarthy's status for coaching this year? Jerry Jones spoke.
Yeah. He said, quote, Coach McCarthy is under contract, so that's not an issue. Secondly, I couldn't be more pleased with what he's done. He made as big a difference from his head coaching vantage point as anybody could. Basically he's made he's been the difference maker, so to speak. Jerry said it, quote, he's the big difference this year. So
McCarthy's that big of a deal.
Everything else has stayed not exactly the same, but let's be real. From last year to this year, the team is about 85% identical. The changes that we made were small, depth situations, little tweaks, adjustments. So
but the biggest change
has been the biggest change.
Yeah, the biggest change that Jerry Jones is alluding to is the play calling.
Yeah,
that is everything, right? That's everything. Calvin Richard in the house, membership style. I don't know if that's a comment. I think he already in the membership, or is he in?
No, he just hopped into the Navy Blue.
Well, much love. Welcome to the Navy Blue.
Shout out to you, Calvin Richards. Welcome.
Yeah, I know he adds a little more to his total. I think Calvin Richards is at, I'm trying to think here, is it 33 or something like that? Calvin Richards, he is currently, I'm talking about the last 2 weeks as we keep building them. Yeah, I think it's at 33 or something like that. So he's moving closer. He's now put up 5 on top of it, right? So for the getting in the Navy Blue crew, and he's like 3 away from another raffle entry on top of the bonus entry he just got for being in the membership. So yes, much love to Calvin Richard. Let's go Cowboys! You know how to do this thing.
I appreciate you. And guys, make sure to drop them if you got them. So, rolling back to what Jay was saying, that, McCarthy's a big difference maker. He also added in there that, McCarthy reminded us all, like, yes, he's still under contract, but, like, he still has a whole
Jerry Jones said
year
this, yeah. Yes.
left on that contract.
Ooh. Oh, but hold on. Wait a minute. JD from DC dropping that 1-0, that Cooper Rush style drop.
Woo.
A $10 holler, which, again, gets him another raffle entry. Still 8 away from another entry. Much love to JD from DC as he's moving up this board as well. What did the man say with that 10 on it?
He said, please bring back the Wild Card MCF Shots episode.
You like
JD
that?
from DC, appreciate you. Much love.
We may have to. This is celebratory here. Now we're in the playoffs, so you might see some shots being shotted here for this game, especially if we're winning, because hopefully it's going to be a happy times, and we'll see what happens. But thank you, JD from DC. We will do our best to oblige.
So, and thank you for that. Rolling back, like I said, to the whole McCarthy-Jerry comments, right? Jerry called McCarthy the busiest cat in all of Texas. So the last thing I want to do is spend any time talking with him about these kinds of things on agreements, extensions, especially when I've got one. So that's it. So basically, he doesn't want to waste McCarthy's time talking about, hey, let's extend you, let's do this, when Jerry's like, he already has a year still left on his contract. Like, now is not the time to talk about it. Now is the time to leave him the fuck alone and let him do his Super Bowl thing.
I agree with that.
Jerry's trying to say there.
I mean, the overall performance right now, Jerry's pretty happy about it.
And he also said, I don't know how I could have been more clearer. I couldn't be more pleased.
Jerry Jones.
So it sounds like Jerry's also kind of trying to, a little confused in the sense of, like, where is all this weird McCarthy's in the hot seat comments coming from? So
he knows.
I guess he doesn't realize
Jerry knows.
Maybe how things were taken.
Jerry knows. Much love right here to Mr. Calvin Richard, who now has another raffle entry on the mix here.
Woo.
Appreciate him as he gets in there with that 5 on it. And he keeps going to the raffle entries for himself on the board here right now. For this week is a new week, but we still carry over both weeks of drops. So, yeah, we just keep adding that up. Let me put Calvin Richard up on the board.
Let me go ahead and read his comment here. After that $5 holler, he said, glad to join you guys. Love the show.
Thank you. Appreciate everybody in the house here. Great comments, great back and forth, great thoughts on things. And hey, listen, in the end, it's some great discussions. That's what matters to me. And it matters to us. So thank you. And thank you guys for your input, your love, and support.
Oh, so, by the way, Bruce got the Toxic Juice said, the answer is it came from big media. Through Jerry himself. Exactly. Like, that's
Jerry's the one who put it out there. Exactly.
My mind. Jerry's the one that made the types of comments and made people say, like, damn, McCarthy's doing all that and you're still heating up his seat? Okay. So
that is strange, right? Like, the fact that he doesn't know where it's coming from, but yet he's the one providing it. He's the one providing the hot seat, which, I also understand it. I don't mind it. It just... Jerry's acting like, he's blowing smoke up our ass.
Yeah, and TJ Money, blowing out Green Bay would be fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I just don't want to jump the gun. We cannot overlook this team. We're going to talk about it, though, starting tonight. And in about, 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes? Get ready, guys. It's going to be real interesting what I got to say here about the Packers and their pros and their cons. Overall, we'll talk about the matchups at the end of the week and break down the offense and defense of them here in the next 2 days. But we're going to get this is going to be a deeper first look than we usually have here in My Cowboys Family for an opponent. Well, because it's the damn playoffs.
I was just about to say, I'm like, we're
it's
talking
required.
Playoff football here now.
It's required. It's a requirement here.
Plus, it's also a little bit different where in the regular season, like, obviously whatever opponent we're facing that week matters, but I feel like unintentionally you end up looking at things through a slight NFL lens, right? Like here, it is ultra focused, right? Like that's it. It's playoff football. This is the team we're facing, so it does feel like that intensity. I think you can feel it even in our preparation. So, by the way, since we have 50-something of you guys here in the house, seriously, huge shout out to everybody here chilling, hanging with us. If you enjoy and like what you're watching, take a second to hit like if you haven't already. Subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an MCF live stream, of course. Yeah. Hop in the Discord link for that. It's in the description box down below. But thank you, yes, very much to the sponsor of the week, Jason Renfro.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, of course.
Back to back like a 90s Cowboys is also the this current, hey, he's hanging on. I just realized it. With 10 points, Jason Renfro's hanging on to that stream boss. Someone's about to take it. Don't let it be anybody but a Cowboy fan family. So Jason Renfro has those 10 points on the stream boss. And then you got the Cash App King. It's a Snug X. You know why he's here. 3 weeks in a row he's here. Repping that star over everything. Just in time for this streak maybe to go to that 6 and beyond.
That's right.
Much love to Snug. He is the man there. And, gifting board, he just dropped a couple times here. Mr. JD from DC, the gifting champion, the gifting king. Much love to him. One of the best ways to drop the love here on this channel. So he took it with 20. With Tony Pollard, a number of gifted memberships. If you guys got one from any of these guys, like Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, and others, like JD from DC, make sure you say thank you. And when you look at this week, and who are the leaders? Well, currently on the gifting side, we have Skeptical Fan with 5 on it, or 6 on it now. Trying to get to that 6. He's in the lead right now over a couple others here, like Jason Renfro. When you look at the Cash App side of things, the leader is currently star level Marissa Sparkle, who's, by the way, not just the Cash App leader, but the current overall leader on the board. So much love to you, all of you guys repping on these boards and dropping the love. Of course, the love goes towards these 4 jersey raffle entries. So you get, again, 1 out of 4. You got 4 chances to win one of these fantastic sewn and stitched authentic jerseys. You guys know the deal. I don't have to go into the details of that, but you know what they look like. You know what it's like. Sewn and stitched styles, old and new, the whole thing. Mr. Cowboys Mosh, jersey style, but $10 you get in the raffle. Another 10, every 10 on top of that. If you go 2 5s, whatever, it counts up all the way up to Saturday night. We keep stacking these raffle entries. You get, if you're in the membership, like you just saw some people jump in and join, like Calvin Richard. Adds another membership raffle once you hit $10. Hey, it just ups your chances to win one of these fantastic jerseys. And there's 4 of them available, 4 winners. Cannot wait to see who gets it down. And a big shout out, big thank you to the big man, the lunatic, for making things happen here in MCF. So thank you again for that. I got to give him extra special shout outs, baby, because Jason Renfro is one of the OGs here.
Oh, yeah.
So, and again, great stuff for the channel that he brings here for us here. So anyways, finally, Jerry Jones. Let's give you the injury update situation on things, because Jerry Jones also spoke about our 2 most injured guys, the biggest question marks right now. And you don't have to look any farther than starting with, I'm going to start with Tyler Smith here. Tyler Smith, according to Jerry Jones, Jerry Jones said he is confident that Tyler Smith's foot, and actually also Stephon Gilmore's shoulder, that both these guys will be able to play against the Packers on Sunday. Jerry Jones said this about Tyler Smith, quote, "I'm really optimistic that we'll see Tyler back. I personally believe he'll be back playing." Now, this was said, of course, today. Yeah. Tomorrow, injury reports. Tomorrow, we'll see more information. It'll probably be very limited.
But we already knew he was trending in a positive direction before this.
For sure.
So,
yeah, not a surprise at all there. But what about Stephon Gilmore? A little more question on if Gilmore is going to practice and play this week, I guess you can say. Right. But he will be more limited. He will be limited during the week for practice. So you're going to probably see him miss a practice, then be limited.
Even if he does practice, it's going to be,
on a very limited basis. According to Jerry Jones, he said this about Stephon Gilmore, quote, "It could have been worse."
Oh, yeah.
Is it a realistic chance to count on him as we get ready to take on the Packers, and get ready to go this week? The answer is yes. Yes, we'll count on him. So, again, sounds like it's going to happen. It's just a matter of managing him. No regressions for him and Tyler Smith. If there's anybody who's more behind, it'd be Stephon Gilmore, in my opinion. But both guys have a chance to play. Stephon Gilmore at cornerback, Tyler Smith at offensive line, offensive left tackle. So that's the Jerry Jones breakdown. Any quick comments or thoughts maybe in the chat or by you about the situation with our injuries, which are right now, just taking a first look at it, because tomorrow we'll know a lot more, right?
I know, like I said, we could not have asked for better, so to speak.
Knock on wood.
Right. Jacob Vasco said, "I believe we'll handle Green Bay. I don't see Dak letting Love come in his first playoff game and then beat it."
Yeah.
Fuego bringing the heat said, "Bland got to get that pick 6 when the ball is headed to Vicks. Just watch."
Well, we'll see. I mean, again, it's you get the pick. I'll take the pick first. You know what I mean? Pick 6 is a bonus. You know what I mean? I see Jacob Vasquez saying, "What's the deal with La'el Collins?" La'el Collins, He ain't playing anytime soon, bro. He's not going to start. He's not going to be even a backup. He's our practice squad guy, an emergency kind of break glass in case of emergency guy. And that's not now. That's maybe divisional round.
Yeah.
He's not ready yet. Not yet.
Take it easy, Fuego.
Fuego,
Thank you for joining us here. Much love.
Peace,
By the
Fuego,
way,
peace.
yeah, just a quick reminder as Fuego rolls out, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, hit the bell, follow us everywhere and everywhere, all that good stuff. No, just I want to hit up another comment here. Jacob Vasquez said, the only guy I'm worried about is Aaron Jones. He takes it personal against Dallas. The logo at his bar is a picture of him scoring at Dallas.
He's torn us up multiple times, all right? And he's one of the guys we're going to take a look at, especially deeply, tomorrow on this offense for the Packers against our defense and how we're going to slow him down. There's ways, trust me. And we're going to touch on it today, so keep listening. In fact, I'm just ready to get it. I'm sorry. I love the comments.
Hey,
any great comment. You guys ought to stop me from rambling on here. Drop the love, and I'll stop what I'm doing, and we'll go through your comment and give our opinions. Again, Jason Renfro on the verge of losing the stream boss for this weekend's game against the Packers. We'll see what happens. But let's look at a couple great things. First and foremost, just to get us ready for this week, just big shout-outs again to the great Dak Prescott. I would say the third best quarterback in Cowboy history now, officially. But Troy Aikman, you could say second best because Rodgers is probably number one. But Troy Aikman and Dak Prescott will once again team up at the Children's Cancer Fund. It's a gala that goes on April 19th. That's been announced today. So
that's awesome.
That's always awesome to see Dak. And you've seen other Cowboy quarterbacks there, like Roger Staubach and Tony Romo, also joined them for this. But Aikman and Dak have been running the show here, kind of the newest guys. And you can see Dak, Dak seems to be just more trusting in the fact that Dak is a little bit better of a quarterback, let's say, overall, and kind of outgoing in that sense than Romo ever was. Romo seemed to always be in the kind of the background. He'll do things in there, here and there, but Dak's more about getting out there with the community. With Troy Aikman.
It's I think just the natural differences between like their personalities and how they handle things and things like that. So
either way, this is an interesting thing, baby. Now we know Dak was drafted in 2016, but there were 5 quarterbacks drafted in the first round of the 2021 NFL draft. Well, that's about 3 years ago, right?
Me too.
You have these guys up there, right? You got only one of them. One of these 5 guys made the playoffs this year.
Ouch.
Only one.
Although,
what?
No, I'm just saying, they're still relatively young, but still.
Okay, so 2021 quarterbacks, 5 quarterbacks drafted. Trevor Lawrence, they're out. Right? You got, what's his name? Zach Wilson, out. You got Josh Fields, the Bears, out. You got Mac Jones from the Patriots, out. And you have Trey Lance. Oh, yeah, he's a Cowboy. I'm just sorry. I thought that was funny. That Trey Lance is the only guy left from that draft that made the playoffs. Now, of course, he's an emergency quarterback for the Cowboys, third stringer. We know who the starter is, Dak Prescott. Listen to this real quick, baby. When it comes to Dak's rankings this year, all right? Because a lot of people are saying, I think MVP, I think also All-Pro. Not all Madden chalked on Montana, All-Pro. Dak Prescott rankings this year among starting quarterbacks. QBR, he's second. Quarterback rating, second. Total win probability, first. WAR, PFF numbers, he's number 1 on PFF. Quarterback-wise. Total EPA, first. EPA per play, second. You can hear a lot of stats and analytical stats in here. Like I just said, EPA per play, second. That's efficiency right there, guys. Now, you look at passing touchdowns. That's straight-up stats, right? Number 1 with 36. Passing yards, third in the NFL. With over 4,500 passing yards. He's tied for 5th in yards per attempt throw. Completion percentage, over 69%. That is number 1 in the NFL this year. All quarterbacks. Touchdown to interception ratio. 9 interceptions to his 36 passing touchdowns. That ratio is 4.0. That is number 1 in the NFL, by the way. PFF grade, 89.8. Second best. Just not WAR, but PFF grade. On-target throw percentage, 5th best in the NFL. Bad throw percentage, 2nd best in the NFL. You think he throws a lot of bad throws? He does not. Just a couple of them that look bad, are really bad looking, and the rest are on target. And you look at his, when you look at the drops, he's had 36 drop passes. That is the 2nd most in the NFL. Success rate, still 2nd most successful quarterback in the NFL. BTT is 6%. That's tied for first. His TPW is 2%, tied for second. First downs this year that he has, that's flown out of his freaking fingertips, his hand. He has 234 first downs. That is number one amongst all quarterbacks in the NFL. Touchdown percentage, 6.1%. That's a second best in the NFL. Number one scoring offense, 29.9 points per game. Third down stats, he's number one in EPA per play. Offense, our offense with Dak, second fewest giveaways in the NFL. Offense, second in third down percentage in the NFL. I'm just saying. McCarthy and other things are also part of this. We had our offensive line was janky half the year. Running game not really the most solid. I wouldn't really count on our running game. Brandon Cooks disappears on the road here and there, whatever. And Dak still dominates. Dak is still the first or second best quarterback across all the boards here. This man here, I'm sorry. MVP, I don't know. I don't care. I just want to win a Super Bowl with him. But when it comes to the stats, MVP, All-Pro selection, this is Dak Prescott at first team, in my opinion, or one of the top teams without question for Dak Prescott. So just throwing to leave that out there. Now, I do want to also flip it here before we get into the breakdown. I want to flip it to and again, if anybody has any comments about Dak, let me know, baby, okay? But we also have the Micah Parsons situation here. When it comes to him,
well, I guess comment. Unless somebody else get the MVP, we want the Lombardi.
Oh, I agree. Without question. I mean, I really don't even care if he gets the MVP.
Yeah, and GM, personally, I would say Dak, obviously over Lamar, but I also, Lamar is also having himself quite the year, so,
Yeah, it's a good battle there, but, I mean, Dak has the quarterback numbers over the rushing numbers that Lamar Jackson has.
Exactly.
So, and look, here's what I'm trying to say when it comes, let me throw it to the defense for a quick second, but on defense, I just want to say this about Micah Parsons, all right? Remember that play that Micah Parsons... well, I'm going to say it like this. DeMarcus Lawrence hit Sam Howell, and the ball was intercepted by Donovan Wilson. Mm-hmm. Now, if you watch the short I put up, you'll see what happens there. But you'll see me point out that Micah Parsons was getting triple teamed on that play. 3 guys were on Micah Parsons, and it left DeMarcus Lawrence on a one-on-one. That's why he got in there. It wasn't, okay, Micah didn't make the play. People are mad, Micah sucks. He didn't make enough plays. That's a play Micah's making. He's making it from getting triple teamed, and DeMarcus Lawrence breaks out of the one-on-one, and he's got himself a hit on the quarterback, which altered the pass, which caused an interception.
Teamwork, guys. Teamwork.
That's what I'm trying to say. The Washington Commanders, and every team will do this, when they have to do a pass that has to develop, a play that has to develop down with the routes, they're going to double and triple team Micah every time. That is how much importance is given to Micah Parsons, and that's why it's very important for Micah to not play linebacker too much. Mm-hmm. You want him at edge almost all the time because it keeps these guys to over block him to leave other guys open. So Micah Parsons, guys, I gotta say this, and it sucks, and I'm gonna say it again. We're looking at the Washington game on Thanksgiving, but these penalties that you see here were never called. These holding penalties, smacks to the face. Important note to note here: he did not get a holding penalty in this last game against Washington. He didn't get not one penalty in a holding call against the offensive lineman and holding him, and he was held multiple times against Washington.
But no surprises there.
So this is one of those. This is one of these games. The last 11 games of the season, Micah has not drawn a holding penalty. 11 consecutive games. We're at like 50 something quarters. Mm-hmm. My point is, criminal, right?
I also still don't expect that to change heading into the playoffs.
No, I don't. Wondering. But then you think about this, baby. I mean, Micah here pressuring quarterbacks, sacking quarterbacks, whatever it may be. But here's the thing. He recorded 71 pressures since, again, the last 11 games. These last 11 games, he's never got one call against the offense for holding him. And in those 11 games, he recorded 71 pressures. And a win rate, still winning, 1 out of every 4 plays, 24.8% of the time. Guys,
that's insanity.
He's getting held, and he's still getting to the quarterback with pressures and winning the double teams. This is double teams with holding on him. Listen, this week's game, as we're getting closer to the discussion of it tonight, the head coach for the Packers, Matt LaFleur, if I was him, I would tell my offensive linemen to hold him as much as possible. Grab him, don't make it obvious, but grab him, hold him, Do whatever it takes to keep him from getting to the
Basically,
quarterback.
you can get a little handsy. You can play some of the hand games you can't play with other guys because they're not going to call it against
Correct. Dare the refs. If I'm the Packers, I would dare the refs to throw the flag. I would say, and if they throw it, it's not going to be multiple times. It might be once or twice at most. It's maybe worth it to stop someone. Can you imagine taking penalties, risking the penalties over letting Micah destroy your offense?
Go up against Micah 5-6 times. If 2 out of the 6 you can end up here.
Yeah. If 2 out of the 6 you get called, but the other 4 holding penalties you get away with, well, that's a win for them too. See Micah get in the face of all these quarterbacks. Let me say something here. This man, Micah Parsons, of course, 103 pressures this year. Only Aiden Hutchinson, who snuck in there at the last week, he got 101 pressures. So Micah Parsons, 103 pressures. Aiden Hutchinson, second. Nick Bosa, third at 95. Max Crosby, 94, and on and on. You had T.J. Watt with 86. He was in 7th place on this list. And Myles Garrett in 8th place with 86. But Micah Parsons, let me reiterate this, led the NFL in pressures with 103 pressures the entire year, but also basically leading the league with, in being held without drawing a penalty flag. So again, let me reiterate this. When it comes to his great play, I love it, right? But when he's getting held and he's still creating, this is still making a stop here. All right. Here he gets smacked in the next play. He gets smacked in the face. This is just a 5-play example. Smacked in the face, looks at the ref like, come on, ref. Are you kidding me? No call there. But here, he's getting pressure on this play after getting held by 2 guys. He's getting pressure. That counts as a pressure play. He's beating the pass rush win rate right there. He's still getting held. He's still getting the quarterback's face, creating pressure, creating a tougher throw. Look, boom, held. It don't matter. Quarterback moves out, throws the ball, gets pressured. So again, Micah Parsons doing this here, getting pressures but still getting held. It's an insane performance. It's really.
It makes you really wonder. Like,
he's got to
had he not been getting held 17 different ways to Sunday, like how much more dominant would he look? At that point, you're talking basically some random.
I'll tell you.
They look like Madden numbers. You know what I mean?
Everyone's talking about Bosa's 19 sacks and Micah's 5 back. Imagine if those holds in. Micah would have 20-something. So you want to talk about sacks? Call it right. Let these other teams lay off a little bit with the hand. You throw a flag or two, they'll stop holding. Guess what's going to happen? Micah, instead of getting a sack or a sack and a half, is going to get 3 every game. But they don't let him. They ain't letting him. When you look at Defensive Player of the Year, I'm not going to go through all the stats, but you look at the guys who are really in the running, which is Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, and T.J. Watt. When you look at these numbers, I'll talk about them in a minute, because Jason Renfro said, hold on, I'm going with a little trickle here. $1 holler as our man that's leading right now, our sponsor of the week, and he's on that overall board creeping up there to Marissa Sparkle. What did Jason Renfro say with that dollar drop?
He said, go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Always go Cowboys. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you.
Yes, much love, sir. And always rep that star over everything, that quest for 6 and beyond. Ooh. So, when it comes to the defensive player of the year battle here, right? Micah, there's a couple of things that he loses on with the other people, with the other guys on this list, like, stop percentage, run stop percentage, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, interceptions, passes defensive touchdowns. He's on the red. He's the 4th place out of these 4 guys. Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, and T.J. Watt. When you look at where he dominates at, and those are the spots where T.J. Watt dominates at, more of the splash plays. When you look at the pass rush ability, the win rate, the pressure, the quarterback hits, no one comes close to Micah Parsons. No. T.J. Watt's the worst in these categories. While, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, they flip and flop there. But Micah dominates things like pass rush grade, pass rush win rate, expected sack total, actual sacks, double team rate, pass rush win rate. And I keep going. There's like 50 different things that Micah Parsons leads in. When you look at other numbers in here, in other areas, when you're looking at pressure numbers, analytics, T.J. Watt is the worst of the 4 guys. He should not even be looked at when you look at pressure. He's got the sacks. He's got the flashy forced fumbles, which are the things that could make he's a playmaker-ish a little bit more. But who's the better overall defensive player? It's no question. Micah Parsons, And again, you look at the other two guys, Nick Bosa and Myles Garrett, they're both like second and third. Like they're solidified second and third in pretty much every category. Micah's first in about 75% of the categories, while Nick Bosa is first in about 25%. And the 25% he's first in when it comes to TJ Watt are there more splash play stuff and sacks and forced fumbles. So he's going to get looked at more for that, even though he does not compare with Micah Parsons when it comes to pass rush pressure, winning blocks, and that sort of thing, being disruptive. And that's the key. And you see me as part of my title today, Micah's disruption. Micah is a constant disruptor in the run game and, of course, pass rush. Micah can do everything in that side of things. Nobody comes close. Now, can he get the sacks? No, he hasn't got the sack. He hasn't got the sack numbers yet. Can he get the consistent pressure? Hell yeah. Now, sack numbers, he still gets them. 5 back on the leader. But if he was not held, he'd be up there with the sacks leader or near it, more near than he is now. But the pressure is consistent by Micah Parsons, dominant over the other top 3 other guys in the NFL that are up for this Defensive Player of the Year. So, with no question in my mind, once again, for this third straight year in my mind, Micah Parsons should be the Defensive Player of the Year. Just on facts. I don't care. We got to win the Super Bowl, but this is a fact that Micah is a dominant player, the most dominant defensive player in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, and GM Bland was definitely making quite the case for himself. But the last handful of weeks, he kind of petered out a bit and had some of his worst performances, unfortunately, throughout the year. So
Jerome Bland,
that kind of helped temper some of his MVP.
Yeah, he's out of the MVP race. But the thing is, the last interception he had before this game was a pick 6 against Washington, which is his 5th pick 6. And then he had the next interception he had was against Sam Howell on that deep play in this game here, which is now his 9th league-leading interception. He's the interception leader, the interception king this year, DeRon Bland. But great numbers. Trayvon Diggs had 11? He still didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. Trayvon Diggs. So Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is the guy that's going to be doing it if anybody's going to do it for the Cowboys this year on defense. So again, we're going to roll into the Green Bay breakdown here a little deeper. There's a couple important little facts we got to talk about. But I want to know if there's any quick thoughts from the chat before we roll on to a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that.
Vasquez throwing out there. If I'm not mistaken, last few times a QB led the league in touchdowns and threw the fewest picks, they won the MVP. And who was it that also said, the fact that, there you go, Lou Santos Pale Moon also reminding us, every MVP candidate has been All-Pro too, and the fact that they aren't even considering Lamar for All-Pro, that should tell you everything. That's the thing that blew my mind. Like, how do you want somebody to be MVP, but you don't consider them an All-Pro? Make it make sense. So, anyway. Hey, Bobby Garrett, that would be great. He said the Cowboys win the coin toss, choose to drive down the field for a 75-yard touchdown drive.
We need to start. That's one of the biggest issues. One of the biggest issues for the Cowboys is slow starts. So I agree with you guys. We need to see that. We need to find it. Listen, it is time for this wild card first look to be official. What do you say? And I'm going to put up my little wild card logo for this game right now. I'm going to pop it up there for a little bit. And I want to talk about the fact that these motherfucking Packers suck. Again, baby, I want you to see this because we got a lot of SpongeBob kind of things here. I mean, it does look like a piece of cheese. Let's be real about this. Packers suck. SpongeBob, Packer pants. I don't know what you call them.
SpongeBob doesn't deserve this type of slander.
I'm sorry, baby. I know. Listen, they get beat up a lot, this team. But this year, not so beat up. So I'm not going to even worry about that one. To me, it's more about the stink of the cheese. So this game, baby, coming up, the uniforms. I know some of you guys sometimes ask about uniforms.
Yeah.
Cowboys are wearing their white home uniforms like we usually do. We get the choice. The home team gets a choice. The away team now has to wear their dark uniforms, which is the usual, that dark green you see there next to that stinky cheese. That will be what the Green Bay Packers are wearing. The usual, the classic look. Cowboys white home uniforms. The Packers home green uniforms with of course, that ugly-ass yellow helmet. Or the yellow helmet with the white G in it. So today on Up and Adams TV show on NFL Network, Kay Adams, she was talking with Deebo Samuel from the Niners who have a bye week, right? And he was asked who you take in this game. He said, I'm going with CeeDee Lamb and the Dallas Cowboys over the Packers this weekend. He knows. But let me say a quick little note here before we even dive deeper as I start off with the offense. And really, how are we going to – this is now there's not just stats anymore of our Cowboys. These are more matchup situations. against each other. The numbers, what's these numbers look like when it comes to both these teams? So let me get into this, and I'm going to start, of course, with the offense first, and starting with our quarterback, Dak Prescott. Cowboys offense and Dak Prescott threw only 9 interceptions this season, as we know. Mm-hmm. That is the 6th fewest among starting quarterbacks in the NFL. The Packers defense have only recorded 7 interceptions this season. What do you think?
I mean, that's not that many. We have literally one player with more than their entire team.
Thank you. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted you to notice. The fact that DeRon Bland has 9 picks and they have 7 on their entire fucking team.
Entire team.
That is the 2nd fewest in the NFL for interceptions. So Dak don't throw picks. They don't get picks. There should be no fucking interceptions in this fucking game. And Dak's last pick was a tip off the helmet of
at least in their direction.
Of TJ Bass getting held, and then they got a guy right in his face. That's why the ball was tipped. That's one of Dak's interceptions, which unfortunately goes as a pick. He really had 8, to be honest with you. But all right, he had this 9th one in this last game.
It's okay.
It's semantics. Either way, the Packers don't get interceptions. Dak doesn't throw interceptions. So, Cowboys and Packers this weekend. Cowboys, of course, at home, 8-0. We all know that fact, right? Right. But the Packers, they've won 3 games in a row entering the playoffs. A little 3-game win.
Yeah. So they're also like trending positively.
Yeah, so when you look at this, I'll throw out there, I think that they are 4 and I think they're 4-5 on the road this year, if I'm not mistaken. So they're basically a little under 50% on the road. Now, when you look at Dak Prescott, 36 touchdowns, that's number 1 in the NFL, only 9 interceptions. His quarterback rate, his QBR rate, 105.9, which is really good for an entire season. Dak Prescott has a 69.5 completion percentage that is 2nd best in the NFL. Throwing for 265.7 yards per game. That is 5th best average in the NFL per game. And the Cowboy offensive line for Dak Prescott, 40 sacks taken by Dak in this offense. That is tied for 12th in the NFL. It would have been a lot higher if Dak didn't move out of a lot of those sacks, right? So, again, when you look at the Packers defense, and this is a quick overlook, a quick glance, a quick first look, they, right now, when it comes to their sack guys, there's 2 guys you got to watch for, baby. We're going to talk about them a lot more on Thursday. Rashawn Gary, all right? He's got 9 sacks, 22 quarterback hits, and 2 forced fumbles. It's a playmaker type guy over there. 8 sacks for Preston Smith. We know him well from the Packers. Preston Smith has 8 sacks this year and 21 quarterback hits, also 2 forced fumbles. So when you look at these edge guys, don't forget these names, baby, like Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith. When you look at their numbers, they're literally separated by a sack, a quarterback hit. Nah. They have the same forced fumbles, and everything else is right there. They got tops in it. Guys, we got to be aware of this defensive pass rush, right? Pass defense for the Packers, though. When you look at what is their passing rate, when it comes to their pass defense, what's the success rate for teams? I mean, they rank 25th in the NFL. And that's not good when it comes to their success rate against offenses. So they have a lot of issues. They don't turn over. They don't get the ball. They have 7 interceptions. That is 31st in the NFL. So Dak is sitting pretty good here right now. The Packers defense, here's the key. And we're going to dive into this on Thursday. But the Packer defense is very potent at quarterback pressure. I just told you Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith. They pressure the quarterback at almost 40% of the snaps. But the key is this. Look at the time to throw. Or I would say the time to pressure, the time before they get pressure on the quarterback. How long does it take their defensive line to get pressure on quarterbacks? It takes them 2.73 seconds on average this year. Dak Prescott's time to throw is 2.69. So he's getting that ball out right under their time of getting, not sacks, but when they get pressure.
Yep.
So Dak is going to be, if that happens consistently in this game, there's no pressure for Dak. Like, he's not getting pressured very often. It takes Green Bay longer to pressure quarterbacks on a consistent basis than it takes Dak to comfortably, not just throw, throwing comfortably. Dak does it faster. He gets the ball out comfortably before they get any glimpses of pressure by Green Bay. So again, it just means that maybe some quarterbacks hold the ball too long. Some quarterbacks, get a little confused, maybe with some good defensive, kind of team play there. So you got to be aware of that. But that's a little insight there on the way that the Packers, they get pressure, but it still takes them a little time to get pressure in there, and then we get the ball out quickly in this offense with Dak Prescott. Now, the other factor of this for the Cowboys is the fact that we have our full offensive line, knock on wood, heading into this game with Tyler Smith and Zach Martin should be back for this game. I mean, we know Zach Martin will. Tyler Smith should be back for this game. So, having all our guys, it means that the time to throw is going to go from 6.9 seconds to maybe even a little higher because you'll have more time to throw.
Exactly.
With our full offensive line, right? So, from there, it is about the Cowboys receivers, Ferguson, running backs out the backfield against a secondary of the Green Bay Packers, guys. And I'm being honest. I'm going to be nice here. We're going to talk about them on Thursday. But the Packers pass rush is very good. Their secondary is very desperate for having such a solid pass rush. And for their pass rush to be effective, their secondary is too trash. So it's like they kill themselves because if the pass rush gets to the quarterback eventually, the defense breaks down coverage. Like they break down in coverage. They don't have coverage. They don't stick to coverage. But if the coverage is good in the first couple of seconds, it doesn't matter because they're not getting pressure fast enough to make that coverage effective enough. So it's like the chicken or the egg situation with them, and that's a good thing. We can control the game that way. And if they try to blitz Dak Prescott, Dak versus the blitz this season, 1,389 yards, 15 touchdowns when you blitz him out of his 36. That's a lot. Only 2 interceptions out of his 9 are off blitzes. His quarterback, when you blitz Dak, he has a 120.7 QBR. So he's one of the best in the league. And his completion percentage above expectation is plus 6.5%, which is incredible. So when you blitz Dak, you're going to lose. You got a lot of decisions to make if you're Green Bay. You want to get pressure on Dak.
Dak really has leveled up this year.
And listen, and the fact if you get pressure on Dak because you're blitzing, Dak will tear you apart. If you don't get pressure because you get there half a second before Dak throws the ball, and Dak's going to pick your secondary apart. That's the way this game looks like from the outset. One of the key matchups, of course, Dak getting time to throw the ball. That should be it. What about play action? Because there's also the play action thing where, a lot of people say Dak needs play action to be successful. But listen to this, baby. Dak on play action this season, 79.8 passing grade.
Okay.
All right? Without play action, 88.7 passing grade. He's actually better without play action than with play action. All right.
Could there be other factors?
I'm sure there are. Maybe down and distance situational stuff, but the advantage here is all for Dak Prescott because we know he could do well out of play action in the past, but now we're seeing him doing it without play action. He's gonna need again. The point is, Dak doesn't really. Whoa, Snug X in the house with his membership comment. What did the man say? 7 months in that Navy Blue crew.
Thank you so much, Snug. He said, we all know why I sent this, but I hope I speak for everyone, and I say thank you for the commitment you show to your channel and to your subscribers. Again, huge shout out to you, Snug X. Appreciate you, of course, our Cash App King. 3 straight weeks, and we know why he's here. Appreciate you, Snug. Much love to you, man, and hey, we appreciate your love and support, too. We don't have anything here on our side without your guys' support in the chat with thoughts. Your love, Snug's always good with the love, so appreciate all you guys. Yeah, your comments, discussions,
yes.
all of it.
This shit's great. We learn from you guys as well, so thank you guys. And thank you, Snug, for the comments there. Jason's still with the 10 points on the Stream Boss. So, that's right, Jason put one back. It was that Micah Parsons. Yeah. Now it's back down to 10 to take over that Stream Boss. Anyways, much love, Snug. Appreciate you. Now, when it comes to Dak, I just want to say the play action stuff, he doesn't need fancy stuff now to kind of set up a little easier. He can do this without play action. So this is an advantage for Dak Prescott. The fact that he doesn't need play action to be more effective. He's effective without play action. Mm-hmm. That's special, and that's a change of this year, right? This year, it's a perfect example of why he doesn't need play action to thrive, right? Things sometimes change, right? It was once true that he needed this play action to really open up things for him better. But now with an MVP-worthy regular season, and the Cowboys featured play action only 27.8% of the time. That is very, very little for the Cowboys. Usually Dak is a much higher play action rate And, he still didn't have these numbers. He didn't have the MVP year out of play action. So, baby, I'm just saying, less play action actually helped Dak Prescott. That's a new leaf turn right there when it comes to Dak. And he used to need it. Now he doesn't need it, which means he's, like Patrick Walker said, he's surgical with it now. He don't need that little fancy shit.
And like I said, Dak has leveled up. He is playing at a different level than he used to be, doing things that he didn't used to do. Love to see it. Yeah. Really.
Greatness in this season, and hopefully continues into the playoffs and beyond. You know what I mean? That's Super Bowl. But as we've taken off the Dak versus the Green Bay Packer comparison, this offense for the Cowboys, 29.9 points per game. That is number 1 in the NFL. We are on third downs. We are the second best third down percentage making, third down conversion team in the NFL. We make our third downs, and a lot of that has to do with Dak Prescott. Now, the Packers, listen to this. This is an important, I'm going to push this fact here a little bit because I want you guys to tell me, I want to know what you think here. Okay. We're going to dive deep into this on Thursday. But the Packers passing defense, they're at 100.3 passing rate. That's what they allow in the passing rate. Okay. To wide receivers. That is 28th out of 32 in the NFL. 28th.
Someone will catch it eventually, I'm sure.
Well, the point is their pass defense is very weak. Especially against wide receivers. Wide receivers, they have issues covering wide receivers in the secondary. I'm not talking about running backs. I'm talking about tight ends. I'm talking about wide receivers. This is where they're lacking in their set. You want to know, okay, we can throw against them, but how? Why? Receivers. They do not cover receivers well. And again, they got to deal with CeeDee Lamb. Well, holy shit. They're 28th in the NFL right now covering receivers. Let's just put it simple. And now with CeeDee Lamb coming to town, or not them coming to town with CeeDee Lamb to face, CeeDee Lamb, 135 catches this year. That's number 1 in the NFL. 1,749 yards, only behind Tyreek Hill for number 2 in the NFL. Again, he has 10 touchdowns. That is 3rd in the NFL. You got Brandon Cooks. Let's not forget about Brandon Cooks, right? Because he's also kind of tearing things up, especially at home, which is where we're going to be playing the next 2 weeks if we keep winning. Brandon Cooks, 54 catches this year, 657 yards, not 1,000, but he did have 8 touchdowns, which ties him for 8th amongst all receivers. Still on that list at top 10 as a wide receiver touchdown catcher for Brandon Cooks. So, great stuff there. Don't forget also, not just these two receiving threats, who they will have trouble with, guys, but also, you got to talk about Jake Ferguson, all right? Jake Ferguson, 71 catches, 761 yards. Man, he had over 100 more than Brandon Cooks this year. Yeah. But Jake Ferguson also had 5 touchdowns. I mean, these numbers are the best, and I'll get into a little bit more. These numbers are some of the best. Jake Ferguson, a top 10 tight end in his first season, in his first regular season as a starter. Listen to this, 96 targets, 7th best in the NFL. In the NFL, 7th most targets at tight end. 71 catches, that is 9th best in the NFL amongst tight ends. Okay. 8th best amongst tight ends when it comes to yardage, 761 yards. He has 5 touchdowns, tied for 7th. 424 yards after contact. Yards after catch. That is 6th best among tight ends. 17 forced missed tackles, tied for 2nd. Forcing guys missing tackles. Ferguson.
Pretty much every stat you read so far is top 10, but keep going.
40 first downs this year for him. That's 7th best amongst tight ends. 109.8 passer rating when he's targeted. That is 10th best. You got to credit Ferguson for putting in the work. Give credit to Lunda Wells, tight ends coach, for getting him really developing so fast, so well in just a year and a half, now 2 years. And guys, a top 10 tight end. Yes, his name is Jake Ferguson. He plays for the Dallas Cowboys. And it is the first year starting as our tight end. And his really first, last year he had 20 catches. This year, 71. Jake Ferguson is a number 1 tight end in the NFL, and he's a top 10 tight end in the NFL. Now, we also have a top 10 drop right here from Calvin Richard.
Ooh, thank you so much for this 5.
He got that $5 on it. What did Calvin Richard have to say, baby?
The Cowboys should use the fullback more to help the run game.
Well, that's Mr. Hunter Lipke, right? You're a fan of
that. The good and the bad thing is, you're not good / bad. You're not wrong. Unfortunately, for Lipke though, we did give him a shot. We did give him a chance to be the running back, and he unfortunately fumbled. So once that happened, I think the Cowboys are a little bit more cautious about him in the run game with the ball in his hand.
I think it's situational when you have Lipke in. He can block. He can run a little bit, and he can catch, but we didn't use him for anything but really blocking, and that's when he's been most successful at. So I agree with you. I think more blocking from him, to me, that would help the run game. You saw that on the goal line. With his blocking, we got Pollard in there because of him, Brock Hoffman. I mean, some of the unmentions, right? Unmentionables here for our Cowboys, and they're putting some good blocking against guys like Deron Payne last week against Washington. We'll have to do that this week, although their interior for the Packers probably not as good as Washington's interior, although their outside guys, Preston Smith, Rashawn Gary, they're going to bring the heat in the outside. So Terrence Steele and Tyron Smith got to be on their A-plus game. So much love, Calvin. Appreciate you. And by the way, 5 on it. That's what takes Jason Renfro down. Guys, I'm telling you, the family, do not let anybody from enemy territory, don't let a Green Bay Packer fan or some other fan take over the stream boss here for our playoff week against the Packers. So make sure you guys, some Cowboy fan rep that stream boss. I just talked about Jake Ferguson. Mm-hmm. Ferguson, 71 catches, 761 yards, 5 touchdowns. These numbers are the best in 10 years, best or second best in 10 years for tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. That's with Witten, Dalton Schultz. This is the second best numbers here, or first best from our tight end here, Jake Ferguson. But how did the Packers defense fare against tight ends? They have a 105.8 passer rating allowed to tight ends. So again, against receivers, they allow 100 passer rating, 100.3 against receivers. Against tight ends, 105.8. So basically, any target down the field, receiver or tight end, they're going to be open in this game. They're 23rd best at covering tight ends. Like I said, 28th best at covering receivers. The Cowboys have options here. You get a little pass protection from this offensive line, which will be full blast. Dak should see a lot of open receivers and tight ends in this game consistently. And you throw in the run game, you got Tony Pollard, got 1,005 yards, 4 yards per carry. Could be better there, of course, but 6 touchdowns. But we know he's kind of been coming on more towards the second half of the year, so maybe that carries on into the playoffs. Either way, that is our offense versus their defense. A quick look. I'm going to flip the script here to finish up here in a moment. But first, another $2 holler from Calvin Richard as he's moving on up this board. What did the man say with that J-Lou too?
He said, I meant as a blocker.
Yes, exactly. Okay, we got it. We got you.
I wasn't 100% sure there. But yes, the good thing is we have seen him at least a tiny bit more helping out there as a blocker. Although, to give the Cowboys credit, we also saw like 1 or 2 different guys play that kind of fullback role. If I'm not mistaken, I think Ferguson had like a
Ferguson had a couple lines
right?
lined up there. Inline, kind of like an inline blocker, fullback kind of style. Yeah.
Exactly. So just keep in mind that, the Cowboys are obviously, trying a few slightly different things at that spot too.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I do want to say, and I think Calvin Richards, like right there, evened up, I think, or one back on another raffle entry. But baby, before we get to the other side of things, we'll get to tomorrow's real deep discussion, which tonight we're going to touch on, first look-wise, our defense against their offense, which is coming up right now. Mm-hmm. People dropping the love like Calvin Richard on this board, moving up the board. Baby, why don't you explain what's going down this weekend at halftime of this game against the Packers because of the man, the Godfather, the lunatic, and this 4-jersey raffle? Go ahead, baby. Break it down while I update the board.
Again, guys, if you drop $10, bam, you're automatically entered, and it is cumulative, right? So, you can drop, and then once you get to 10, bam, you're in it. Every additional 10 after that is another additional bonus entry, and MCF membership has its perks. MCF members, once you're in it, you get a bonus entry just for being a member. So, yeah. Yeah, you guys, again, what are they trying to win, though, baby? Well, we have 4 awesome lucky winners that are going to be winning their own choice of an authentic, stitched-in jerseys. They can choose the player, the style, the size, as long as we have it available.
You got yours. Men, women, and children's sizes, different styles, like you said. 4 different,
even different teams, but we don't advertise
different teams and different sports too available if you guys wanted to. But there you go. There are a lot of choices, guys. Unlimited entries, membership bonus, raffle entry if you're in the once you hit 10 if you're in the membership. And 4 separate winners, each of them getting a fantastic jersey sewn and stitched. So let us know. Up your chances to win one of these jerseys. Every 10 you keep adding to another raffle entry, like you just saw there from some of the family. This goes back to last week. So if you dropped last week, we got you. If If you pass the $10 mark, we got you. So, and we've been tracking this here, keeping track of it very accurately. Again, a big shout out, a big thanks to Cowboys Mosh for the jerseys provided here. Great quality stuff, but extra special love and shout outs to the man, the lunatic, for making this thing happen. So, again, I'm going to put a little exclamation point raffle so you guys know what the deal is there in case someone comes in late and missed my little intro about this, my little information about this. And let's get back to the stinky Green Bay Packer cheese. So when it comes to the other side of things, all right, and we'll talk about this again a lot more tomorrow on their offensive side versus our defense. Of course, defensively, I'm always going to put up there Micah Parsons. But Jordan Love, what's his deal? So he has the second most passing touchdowns in the NFL behind Dak Prescott. He has 32 passing touchdowns, second best in the league. He has thrown only 11 interceptions. Dak threw 9, so he don't throw many interceptions either. 96.1 passer rating. Dak's about 10 points higher than him. Now, Jordan Love, he has had 100 or better, or greater passer rating in his last 7 of his 8 games. So he's finished the year at a high level for Jordan Love.
Yeah.
So again, doing a great stuff out there for the Packers here, and it's only his real true, kind of like Ferguson, his first year as a starter. Micah Parsons, of course, officially hits 14 sacks after last week's game, tied for 7th in sacks this year. He has 33 quarterback hits. That's tied for 3rd. He's number 1 in pressures. So obviously, Micah's going to present a problem that maybe Jordan Love has not seen this year yet, or this offensive line. Now, the pass rush for the Cowboys, that's all of them, the whole defensive line, a 42.5 quarterback pressure percentage. That means that somebody's getting in there. And I'm talking about Dak, not Dak, but Micah helps other guys like DeMarcus Lawrence get in there and do damage, even when he's triple teamed, right? But somebody, Micah, DeMarcus Lawrence, Osa, Sam Williams, Dorrance Armstrong, and many others, they get pressure. We're number 1 in the NFL as a defense in getting quarterback pressure percentage there, pressuring the quarterback. We blitz 33.5% of the time, which is an uptick for Dan Quinn. That's 8th most in the NFL. Surprisingly, we're blitzing a little more than we did the last couple of years. Seems like a little tweak by Dan Quinn. And you look at the Packers' SpongeBob offense over here. They've taken 30 sacks in the NFL. Like I said, Dak's taken 40 sacks. So they're actually much better than us. I don't say much better, but they're 3rd best in the league at not getting sacked. You know what that means? Jordan Love is great. He's got a good job of avoiding stuff, but he's also got a good offensive line. We will talk about that here tomorrow about the offensive line of the Packers. Very good offensive line. But first, we got Airborne 83 officially in that navy blue crew. Why? Congrats to him, because we got the man Jason Renfro gifting a membership to him. And Jason Renfro, after gifting that membership, moving up this board as well. Right there with Skeptical Fan, still a little bit behind the current leader. I'm sorry, still a little bit behind Skeptical Fan. He is our current leader, who jumped into first place there with 6. I think Jason Renfro right now has 3, so he's halfway there. He's a field goal down. It's a 6-3 game currently on the membership gifting board. So extra special thanks to Mr. Jason Renfro. And you can see this 3 points. 3 points. Brandon Cook's $3 holler takes that stream boss down from Jason Renfro. So you guys, make sure it's a Cowboy fan. That's all I ask. So 30 sacks by the offense, by the Packers. They are very solid on offense, on the offensive line. And Jordan Love is a bit, he could not that he's mobile going to run, but he is elusive enough that he can extend the play or avoid a sack. So he's good as well. Like we're good with Dak with what he does. I think we're tied for 12th with 40 sacks. Taken. They've taken 30 sacks. That's 3rd best in the NFL. Who are their receivers back there? Because we're going to have coverage over there by guys like DaRon Bland. And, of course, we know we need Stephon Gilmore out there as well. But DaRon Bland is going to be covering some of these guys with Stephon Gilmore. And these guys are a bunch of rookies. A lot of rookies. Again, they have the most yards combined on the wide receiving core in the NFL. With like 1,700 yards from rookies. So they have very inexperienced guys at receiver. And again, I'm going to say some names here like Jaden Reed. All right, he had 89 or better yards, 89 yards or more in back-to-back games ending the season. All right? You got this guy named Bo Melton. All right? Now, I'm going to be honest. I haven't heard a lot of these guys. I'm sure some of you college heads, you know these guys. But Bo Melton, 6 or more targets in 3 straight games for him. So they are hitting all the receivers. I know there's another Demarius guy that's out there. We'll talk about them tomorrow, but they got a lot of guys, a lot of young guys, a lot of no-name guys that are getting a lot of opportunities. The Packers allow 20.6 points per game, but it's misleading because, again, a lot of this is about keeping you out of the red zone when they are vulnerable. The quarterback rating jumps almost 15% when they're in the red zone. So, again, only 5 more rushing attempts versus their defense in the red zone than the Cowboys defense, but they also have 5 more rushing touchdowns allowed. So again, when you look at our defenses, a lot of things you can say, well, their best thing is run defense, so their best thing is running the ball, but we are better than them in both those categories. Yeah. And so it's kind of similar to Washington in the way they were best in some situations, where they were better than most teams. I'm sorry, they was better than most of their own like statistics, but we were still better than them on all sides of things. Similar here at Green Bay. Now, when it comes to that time to release the ball, and I'm going to go back here to Micah Parsons real quick because, Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence and his defense is going to be all up in his face. That's going to be the goal. The Cowboys' a time to get pressure is 2.44 seconds. Very fast. One of the best in the league. Jordan Love's time to release the ball, time to throw, 2.77 seconds. That's 0.3 of a second that we're going to get pressure on him almost every consistent play. While the other way, we had like a half a second that Dak still was comfortable on the other side of the thing. So we're going to get pressure on Jordan Love, and that drops him down some. Now, I'm going to say you don't want to blitz Jordan Love because he will hurt you. But again, unlike the situation with Dak will have, as an experienced quarterback, a comfortable half second of consistently not getting pressure. Occasionally he will get pressure. But I'm saying that is a major advantage for our quarterback and our offense. Jordan Love, on the other hand, who is an inexperienced quarterback in his first year starting, versus the fastest TTP, time to pressure, defensive line in the entire NFL, which is our team. We get there in 2.4 seconds. They throw the ball in 2.8 seconds, basically. We're going to be eaten all day in front of Jordan Lewis's face. And when he's a little more inexperienced, he's not Dak Prescott, he's going to make mistakes. He's going to have to take sacks. This is something that they haven't seen in a while with Green Bay, and they're going to be challenged with our defense as well. Expect quick throws. We'll talk about this more tomorrow, but I expect quick throws and a lot of the run game getting utilized here. But again, to be fair to Jordan Love, he's a much less experienced quarterback than Dak, and this part of the game for him, maybe getting the ball, get rid of the ball faster, being more efficient when he's under pressure, that might come, of course, later in his career. But right now, we're talking about now. Mm-hmm. Right now, he panics on the run. He panics, and then he runs the ball, and he gets nervous. Okay. That's what Jordan Love does when that pressure hits him. We're going to get there 0.3 of a second, 0.4 of a second faster than he's going to release the ball on usual plays. So when Dak gets pressure, he just kind of rolls this way. He's so smooth about getting open, extending the play, something he's been doing a lot more, which I've been screaming about for 6 years. We should have been using him.
But you know what?
But they're doing
That's what happens, and that's what you get with time and experience.
Correct.
Jordan Love just does not have the time or the experience just yet, to roll out of that. But we can obviously use that to our advantage. I have a feeling that Jordan Love is going to have or be sacked quite a bit. I was about to say, he's going to have a lot of sacks. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. But yes, he's going to be sacked.
I understand.
I think quite a bit of times between the pressure our D-line is going to be giving them, along with, like you kind of said, yes, he's mobile. He can get out of some stuff. It's not like he's going to get crushed every single time. He'll definitely win a few. But I do think those moments of inexperience are going to hit him, and he's going to, scramble. He's not going to do the right thing, and that's where we can take advantage. Again, execution here is going to be key because we've had several moments this season where we should have had a sack
and missed
and for some reason it just didn't quite happen, and it's not even that the quarterback did some crazy-ass play or something,
I hear you, and that's something that we have to get better at. We can't have DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah running into each other. But then when you look at things, I look at Deron Bland, baby, in coverage, and kind of finishing up this defensive side of things. Another guy I also look at in a very serious way, and we're going to need a combination of Deron Bland and Stephon Gilmore. Our pass defense has held wide receivers to a 77.8 quarterback rating when they're targeted. That is 4th best in the NFL. I'll repeat that in a minute. But first, Let's shout out the man, Jason Renfro, with a $3.60 holler, who staves off elimination from the stream boss. I think he's up to, 6-7 now? 7 points. He's on that Trayvon Diggs, a touchdown. 7 points. $7 holler. Takes the stream boss down. What did Jason Renfro have to say?
Go Cowboys.
No. He said, Go Cowboys! Much love, Jason. Appreciate you as always. Now, just wanted to say, the pass defense has held specifically wide receivers to a 77.8 rate. That is 4th best in the NFL. Quarterbacks don't get to throw the quarterbacks don't really get a chance to throw a clean pass to the receivers when you play against our defensive backs. And of course, a lot of that has to do with the pass rush. But hopefully we get what is his name here? Stephon Gilmore back. That's the hope. And we got DaRon Bland definitely playing this game. But DaRon Bland has 9 interceptions, number 1 in the NFL. But he's also tied for 7th with 15 passes defensed. Always involved in the play. Almost always DaRon Bland is in the play. Hands in the play, knocking the ball down, get his hands on the ball. Remember, he had like 3 dropped interceptions this year. He could have had more than 9. But let's talk about the last part of things, which to me maybe is the biggest kind of key to us to kind of win or stay in the game. We know with Aaron Rodgers last year, they were down 14 and they just started to say, you know what? We're just going to do what SpongeBob's doing here, Triangle SpongeBob, Cheesehead SpongeBob, and just run. Run the fucking ball. And that, to me, is one of the things we got to stay on this year more than anything. And that, to me, it's all about this one guy named Jonathan Hankins. Now, I'm going to say this. Aaron Jones, their running back, superb running back. Against us, he fucking kills us. I think it used to be 33. I don't know if he changed his number. But my point is, Aaron Jones, 110 or more yards in 3 straight games. They are leaning on the run. And you know how we feel about that. Mm-hmm. Aaron Jones last week against the Bears, 22 attempts, 111 yards, 5 yards per carry. All right, so we got to slow down Aaron Jones no matter what. They're going to keep rocking with him and pushing the ball with him, and then that's going to open up shit for Jordan Love.
Yeah,
so
that to me is the biggest key to the game. If we can make sure that we don't let him do anything too crazy against us, the rest of the game should fall into place.
Should be able to get pressure on Jordan Love, and then that should snowball effect. But our defense, we allow 18.5 points per game. That is 5th best in the NFL. We allow the 5th best. We hold teams to 5th best yards per game. You know what I'm saying? On defense, we are the 5th best defense when it comes to allowing yardage against our defense. So again, domination from defense all around. But I want to stay on Jonathan Hankins for a quick second. His return to the run defense, baby, in the game against Washington. All right? Jonathan Hankins was dominant. And I know you didn't see his numbers. None of us seen his numbers. They didn't matter. The Cowboys' run defense was trending in the right direction. Post-Buffalo, the Buffalo game, we got better against Miami. Against Detroit, a little better.
Yeah.
But against Washington, Hankins was back. And it is a night and day difference. Night and day, guys. Listen to this. Contact behind the line of scrimmage. So you're almost tackle for loss of disruption in the backfield on run plays. With Hankins on the field, 40% of the time, there was contact behind the line of scrimmage. Okay. With Hankins. Without Hankins, 32%. So that's a 8% difference of being disruptive in the backfield. That is a lot. That's a drop of almost 7 points. That is a difference between a win and a loss. Mm-hmm. 7 percentage points is a difference between winning and losing. Hankins is a difference maker, and we need him. And that is why I've been saying his praises since last year when we got him. I said this. I've been showing you guys, look at the LVE tackles at linebacker. Look how good we do at linebacker when we have Hankins in the game. It's dominance. And you're seeing it again when he's in the game. That's how important this guy is. So when he's in the game doing his thing, the run stop is really much better. And we're going to need it this week against Aaron Jones. We'll talk much more about that tomorrow. Dorrance Armstrong, by the way, another guy on this defensive line. A rotational piece, right? Doesn't really seem to do much sometimes, right? But baby, he finished 2nd on the Cowboys team in sacks. He's had back-to-back years of good sack numbers. Yeah. Dorrance Armstrong. He had 7.5 sacks this year. He only played 41.7% of the snaps. So that's a lot. That's a great sack ratio.
I was going to say that's a great sack to playtime ratio.
Last year he had 8.5 sacks, playing a little bit more, 47.3% of the snaps, right? He is just 26 years old. He turns 27 in June. He's a free agent in March. But a key part of this defense right now. So, again, some people say, well, he's not scary. I know Mark says he's not a scary player. He's not. But he does the job. He picks up the scraps that DeMarcus Lawrence, but really Micah Parsons brings to the table. Dorrance Armstrong is always there in the rotation. So Armstrong, our second leading sack guy here, 7.5 sacks this year, 8.5 last year. It's pretty damn good for a guy who is named Dorrance Armstrong there. Now,
Lou Santos Pale Moon saying, remember in 2006, the Colts' run defense was one of the worst during the regular season. Showed up in the playoffs, helping the Colts win the Super Bowl. So
we'll see if it happens for us. We used to be able to be great on run blocking, but that's kind of disappeared a little bit. The point is, I don't really see us leaning on the run in the playoffs. This is a Mike McCarthy offensive kind of game plan and coached and play called. So running game, yeah, you see a little run, but I don't think you're going to see anything big coming from the run game and leaning on that. The defense must stop the run. That's the most important thing. And listen, it is true. I'm going to finish this with this right now. And we get special teams as a quick little blurb. And then we're out of here, guys. So drop your last drops of knowledge in the chat, your last drops of love. You want to get in the raffle, you know what to do. But the Packers are a damn good running team. All right? They have a really good tandem at running back. All right? They got what's his name? Dillon, who I really liked, and of course Aaron Jones. So we know they have a good 1-2 punch. They're really good at running the ball. And they're going to push the run a lot, too, in against all their teams they play. I mean, Aaron Jones is over 110 yards in 3 straight games. But it's only between the 20s. Once they get in the red zone, they start they're not able to run at all. Their run game goes to the ground. Red zone runs, they have 77 red zone runs. Only 3 touchdowns this year. And, they have yards per carry in the red zone, 3.2 yards per carry. That is a big drop-off. Rushing yards over expectation in the red zone, negative 58.
Ouch.
And rushing EPA, negative 9. Success rate, 33.8. A third of the time they're successful running the ball. If it's first down, they got to get 3 yards. They don't get that in the red zone. Now, on the 50-yard line, they get that. They maybe get more than that. But we look at the Cowboy run game, for example, in the red zone. We're not that great, right? 89 attempts for us. We have 348 yards in the red zone, 6 touchdowns, so they're 3 touchdowns. They're averaging 3.2 yards per carry. We're averaging 3.9, which is actually very good. Rushing yards over expectations, negative 6. They're negative 58. We're plus 6.7 in rush EPA. They're negative 9. And they're, again, 33.8 in success rate running the ball. We are 46.1. Almost half of our runs in the red zone are successful. So we are a much better red zone running team than the Packers, but they're a much better rushing team outside of the red zone than us. What that translates to is we can stop these motherfuckers. That's what we can stop the run. We gotta have Hankins in the game, or it could be then trouble. That's all I'm gonna leave it at that. The last thing, baby, our special teams. All right, hopefully Brandon Aubrey won't stink it up like the cheese of the cheeseheads there in Green Bay. But Brandon Aubrey, we know he's 36 of 38 in field goals this year.
Yeah,
he's made 49 out of 52 extra points. And as long as 60 yards, he has 10 50 yards or longer this year. Incredible numbers for Brandon Aubrey. They have a guy named, again, you might know him he's the brother of the Raiders kicker, John Carlson.
All right.
Anders Carlson. Not as good as his brother. He's 27 of 33 in field goals. He missed 5 extra points, 34 of 39, and his long is only 53 yards. So he's not Brandon Aubrey, that's for damn sure. And he's definitely not his brother as well. So we have an advantage there on the kicking side. If this game gets close and we need a field goal, Brandon Aubrey, knock on wood, should be the guy who is more favored to, let's say, knock the ball through than the kicker of the Packers. So Mr. Anders Carlson. So that's it, guys. That is it from me on my side. I do have a Cash App notification, so let me get on that. Maybe hit up a couple comments, and then we're going to say sayonara for the night, and we'll be back tomorrow with the breakdown of our Big D against this cheesy offense of the Packers.
Yeah, Ben Texas Twister, stay safe out there on the road. Chalk to my 10808 cracking me up. He's like, yeah, but they're worse than Dallas at running the ball. Oh.
I'm just saying that
that was sarcasm.
Oh,
That's
okay,
what I'm saying. He's saying like yeah, but they're supposed to be worse. But they're worse than Dallas at running the ball.
Yeah, exactly. That's their best quality. It's still worse than our quality of running. Ours not even our number one thing is that we're 12th at running the ball, but they're not that great at running the ball. And I'm stressing mainly inside of the red zone is where they really go downhill. Outside of the red zone, they're pretty efficient, I will say.
Shout out to Rhonda's lovely Sparks.
Oh,
that's why I think Drop the Love. I was just about to say, I believe you'll be seeing her name here in just a minute.
Yes. I'll shout her out in a second here. She's halfway to a raffle entry.
She said, wanted to share my love for my Cowboys family. Pop in, show my support, and like. Love you, miss you. Thank you so much, Rhonda. Appreciate you. Everybody's missed when they're not able to be here. Oh, we understand the timing, right? Life. Things happen. So, hopefully for those of you guys who aren't able to make it live, you are able to catch the replay.
Yeah, and leave your comments down below. I will say much love in the Cash App drop there from Rhonda's lovely Sparks with the 5 on it, the $5 holler. And baby, as everybody knows or should know, there is that raffle going down here.
Yeah.
So Rhonda's like halfway to getting a raffle entry for winning. What are you going to win? You have 4 jerseys. You can win one of these 4 jerseys of your choice. As I said here, guys, a lot of different choices for the Cowboys. New, old, legends, current players, different styles and all sizes and, sexes, so to speak, like genders, like men, women, children, and all that stuff. A lot of choices. 4 winners. Each winner gets a jersey. Your choice. Hey, sometimes all you need is 1 raffle entry. If you're in, you can stack them. You can keep adding more on top of that. The more raffle entries, the better chance you have to win one of these 4 jerseys. And if you're in the membership, it's a bonus raffle entry. So, hey, we got a lot of people joining this. I think we got 22 people in this thing, but there's 4 winners out of 22. That's not bad. So, we can add to that. You guys can add to your raffle entry. You can add to the people in this thing. Go wait till Saturday night because Sunday afternoon at halftime of this game is when we'll announce and do the live raffle right here on My Cowboys Family. Good luck to all. And much love to the lunatic for making this thing happen right here at MCF. So, anyways, baby, go ahead. Hit up the...
I was going to say, with that said, yes, I'm going to go ahead and start doing some of the final shout-outs here.
I'll make sure to put Rhonda on the board. She's, of course, like 4th, 5th on the Cash App, but she is on the overall board as well. So much love to Rhonda.
Oh, you might want to hold up because Rhonda said, wait a minute.
Hold up.
She just dropped a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Rhonda, saying, here's my other half for the entry. Thank you, fam.
Well, we just want
first
it's our first super chat on this side. Rhonda's lovely Sparks. Appreciate you. Check her channel out, by the way, if you get a chance. Appreciate you, Rhonda, and go Cowboys.
Always go Cowboys.
Yes. Got you on there. You're in the raffle. You got yourself again, if not in the membership, but you got yourself a raffle entry. Sometimes all you need is 1.
So, like we said, of course, Rhonda, thank you for being here. We have Jason Renfro.
Yeah.
Who's Montana 808.
Overall leading raffle guy right there.
Los Santos Pale Moon. Texas Twister. Let me see. Lost in Translation. Take it easy. Dallas Cowboy 92. Much love. Choctaw Montana 808.
Yeah.
Have a great night. Los Santos Pale Moon. Airborne 83. Of course, the man, Jason Renfro.
Oh, yeah.
Lee Side Herald. Let's see. Calvin Richards, GM. Snug X.
Yeah, man. Calvin jumped also on this. I got a little slow on the uptake here on updating this stuff, but yeah, he's Calvin.
GM, Jason Renfro, Brian Harper.
Calvin's in 4th place now, knocking Stanley Smith to 5th, and Jason Renfro I think is jumping close to Jason Renfro's now in 5th place as well, right behind Calvin Richard. The moves on the board never stop, like chess.
So, with that said, that's as far back as I can go, actually, as far as the shout-outs and things like that on my end. Yeah,
so let me get these ugly cheesy heads motherfuckers here and SpongeBob Cheesehead over here out the way. I just wanted to, clarify. Oh, there she is. Oh, is that the official one? Yep, there it is. Much love to you, Rhonda. Appreciate you. And always go Cowboys. There's the other half. You're in the raffle. Much love. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes.
So, anyways, let me. And again, we'll talk about injuries and stuff tomorrow for the Cowboys, and of course, we'll of course do the injury report for the Packers as well. But you look at this team right now, the stinky, smelly, damn cheese Packers. I call them something else, but I'm not. They got the SpongeBob cheesehead looking motherfucker, and you got me and the wife here. Appreciate you all. Let me shout out those that have. By the way, baby, and I gotta say this, it's crazy. He's literally hanging on by a thread. Jason Renfro. with a J-Lou $2 holler hanging on to the stream boss. Who wants it? Anyways, I'm wondering if it'll be caught tonight, or will somebody subscribing get it overnight? That could happen. So if you want that stream boss, come get it now. Jason Renfro's right there hanging on by a twig. So the drops tonight, guys. I'm going to give the shout outs to those that dropped the love, whether through membership, Cash App, Super Chats, whatever, gifting memberships. All you guys, thank you for dropping the love here tonight. Roy Strasner in the Navy Blue crew back in there. Big D in the place to be. Membership-wise, we got Calvin Richard moving up the board, but also jumping in the membership. Rhonda's Lovely Sparks with the Cash App and the in-stream Super Chat, her first Super Chat. We have Jacob Vasquez dropping the love. Jason Renfro, of course, in the house, gifting a little bit there. Skeptical Fan gifting 5 on it in the lead. Up above there, Dwayne Broussard with the pre-stream 2. JD from DC adding another raffle entry plus to his list. I think I covered everyone. Cannot do this without all your guys' love and support. Sponsor of the week, Jason Renfro. Still the Cash App leader. Still the stream boss right there, leader, with 2 points. Much love to Jason Renfro. I think it's the only boards he's leading. Of course, we talk about our family here and who's leading some of these boards. The membership gifting board. It's, of course, JD from DC. After that Washington, D.C. win by our Cowboys in there in D.C., he was representing it over there for us. Appreciate him. And he is representing this week as the king of the Cash App. The king of the gifting membership. The king of the Cash App is this man. Never can forget it. Snug X. You know why he's here.
3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row. Appreciate you always, Snug. But the leaders this week, Marissa Sparkles got the lead still in the Cash App. And she got the lead on the overall board as well. When it comes to the gifting boards, like I said, Skeptical Man dropping 5, took a early lead by 3 over Jason Renfro on the gifting board for the membership gifting board. There you go. I think we caught everything up there, baby. I think we got everything caught up. So if there's any new comments or thoughts in the chat as we get ready to get out here with 2 points left on Jason Renfro's stream boss.
Yeah, we already did all the
shout outs
here and everything. So
baby, why do we do this here at My Cowboys Family each and every day and night, right in this little corner of YouTube?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here on MCF, we rep that star over everything. And, of course, here in this little corner of YouTube for over 6.5 years on the nightly, right here in My Cowboys Family. Never, ever forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for dropping your knowledge in the chat, literally, all night long, all night. Thank you all. Truly appreciate your thoughts, your comments on our Dallas Cowboy football team. And, of course, always giving the big shout-outs and the love to the sponsors that keep this channel going, those that drop the love from above, whether it's Cash App, Super Chats, gifting memberships, donations, however you do it. We truly humbled by the best fans of all YouTube. But now all things must come to an end. All good things must come to an end. And we're going to clock out and drop out of here as we relock and reload for another one tomorrow, as we really crack open and break open how to stop, or at least what the matchups are going to look like when it comes to our Cowboy defense against the Green Bay Packer offense. That's tomorrow's discussion, so stay tuned for that. Guys, that is it from our side. We are ready to get on out of here for the night. But, baby, before we can officially drop out of here for the evening, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat was superbly dropped here. Wild card is ready to go here. I'm ready for this game, aren't you? We're all ready. Thank you all for dropping in here, giving us your 2 cents, and chilling here as we wrap up another Cowboys chat. Yes, Jerry spoke. We talked about him and his big thumbs up for McCarthy and his team. Talked about Micah's situations with the pressure, defensive player of the year, Dak and his numbers. And then you got the Packers coming around the corner here, ready to do battle with us. And we're ready to bring it on. We're going to talk about this number 10 led Jordan Love offense against our defense tomorrow. And watch for Aaron Jones and others. We'll talk about it all right here at MCF, right here at My Cowboys Family tomorrow. Tomorrow night. Not sure the time, but you know the place. And here on MCF, it's about that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here, My Cowboys Family. Much love to all of you in the house. Appreciate you all, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button for the stream. Subscribe to the channel. Keep growing this thing. And, of course, follow us. Oh, I'm sorry. Hit the notification bell to all videos so you know when we're going live. But follow us on all social media, on X and Twitter, at MyCowboysFamily. Join in the Discord as well. All the information is in the description in this video and all videos. Again, guys, thanks again. Stay safe. Much love to all. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another one. Peace. Oh, yeah. And never, ever forget. Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat.